Hello friends, today we will study chapter 10 of class 12 biology, that is microbes in human welfare. So first of all we should know what are the microbes. Microbes are diverse protozoa, bacteria, fungi or microscopic plants, viruses, viroids, also prions that are proteinaceous infectious agents. So these consist of diverse group of organisms that are proteinaceous agent, and these are present everywhere in soil, water, air, inside our bodies, and that of animals and plants. They are even present at the sites where no life form could possibly exist. This is the diagram of the bacteria, and this is the diagram of the virus. This is bacteriophage adenovirus, which causes respiratory infections. Bacteria and fungi can be grown on nutritive media to form colonies, which can be seen by the naked eyes, and this is very useful in study of microorganism. So this is basically technique is used in microbiology, which is study of microorganisms. They are grown on the nutritive media and they form the colonies, and we can see this green color fungal colony which is formed by this particular bacteria. Microbes causes many disease in human beings, plants as well as animals. And there are several microorganisms which are very useful in man in many ways. So first we will study microbes in household products. Microbes like lactobacillus, another commonly called as lactic acid bacteria, it grow in milk and convert it into curd. So this lactobacillus produces acids that coagulate and partially digest the milk protein. A small amount of curd is added to the fresh milk and it acts as inoculum or starter to contain millions of bacteria which will multiply at suitable temperature and converting this milk into curd. It also improves the nutritional quality by increasing the vitamin B12 content. In our stomach also, this LAB play a very beneficial role in checking disease which cause the microorganisms. So this lactobacillus is also very important in our stomach as it is checking various disease which is caused by other microorganism. The dough is used for making foods such as dosas and idli, and it is fermented by bacteria. So bacteria is also playing important role in the fermentation of the dough of dosa and idli. The puffed up appearance of the dough is due to the production of carbon dioxide gas. The dough used for making bread is fermented by using Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which is baker's yeast. Now, a traditional drink is also used in some part of India, which is made by fermenting sap from palms. Microbes are also used to ferment fish, soya bean, bamboo shoots to make foods. Cheese is one of the oldest food items in which microbes are used. There are different varieties of cheese which are known by their characteristic texture, flavor, taste, and specificity coming from the microorganisms which are used. The large holes in Swiss cheese are due to the production of large amount of carbon dioxide by the bacterium which is known as Propionibacterium shermani. The Roquefort cheese is ripened by growing a specific fungus on them for a particular flavor. So this cheese is used for growing a specific fungus for a particular flavor. Now microorganisms are also used in industrial production. A number of products like beverages and antibiotics involves the use of microbes. Production of large scale requires microbes in very large vessels which are known as fermenters. So fermenters are used to grow microbes when they are required in large quantity. Fermented beverages like Saccharomyces cerevisiae, we all know it is used for bread making and it is known as brewer's yeast. It is used for fermented malted cereals and fruit juices to produce beverages like wine, beer, whiskey and rum. Wine and beer are produced without distillation, whereas whiskey, brandy and rum, these are produced by the distillation of both the fermented products. Now this is the diagram of the fermenter and this is fermentation plant. Antibiotics, we know they are chemical substances which is produced by some microbes and these can kill and retard the growth of the microbes. Penicillin was the first antibiotic which was discovered and it was discovered by Alexander Fleming. Antibiotics have great improved capacity to treat deadly disease like plague, whooping cough, diphtheria and leprosy. There are certain chemicals, organic acid, enzymes and other bioactive molecules are also commercially produced by the use of microbes. So microbes are very useful in producing various chemicals, organic acid, enzymes. Examples like Aspergillus niger, which is a fungus, it is used for the production of citric acid. Azotobacter acidi, it is used for acetic acid. Ostridium butyricum, it is used for butyric acid. So these are also used for the various acids. Lactobacillus, it is bacterium and it is used for production of lactic acid. Saccharomyces cerevisiae, it is used for the production of ethanol. There are certain bioactive molecules like cyclosporin A, which is obtained from Trichoderma polysporum fungi, and it is used as immunosuppressive agent. It is used as immunosuppressive agent for organ transplantation patients. Another is statins, which is obtained from Monachus purpureus yeast, and it is used as blood cholesterol lowering agents. So these are widely used as bioactive molecules. Now microbes are also used in sewage treatment. How they are used in sewage treatment? Municipal water, wastewater, that is sewage, contains large amount of organic matter and microbes which are pathogenic, and they cannot be discharged into the natural bodies like rivers and streams. So this sewage is treated in sewage plant to make it less polluting by using heterotrophic microbes which are present in the sewage. Now sewage treatment is basically done in two stages. First is primary treatment and second is secondary treatment. This is the flowchart showing both the treatment. First is primary treatment, which is physical treatment, and it is done by filtration and sedimentation. Secondary treatment is biological treatment. It is done by first filtration, sedimentation. Next, after filtration, sedimentation, ablation and rapid growth of aerobic microbes occurs. Now this consumes the organic matter and reduces the BOD, that is biological oxygen demand. The effluent is passed to the settling tank, and further the floc sediment and foam activated sludge is formed. Now this anaerobic sludge digester is formed. It forms biogas, and second water is released into the streams and rivers. So this is the entire process of secondary treatment and primary treatment of sewage waste. In primary treatment, we know floating debris is removed by sequential filtration, and grit, that is soil and small pebbles, they are removed by the sedimentation. So filtration and sedimentation is occurring in primary treatment, as we have already discussed above. This is the diagram of the secondary treatment plant. Now secondary treatment, we know it is biological treatment, and it involves passing of primary effluents in large aeration tank to help the growth of aerobic microbes into flocs. Flocs, that is masses of bacteria which is associated with a fungal filament to form mesh-like structures. So these mesh-like structures are known as flocs. Now these microbes, what they do, they increase the consumption of organic waste and decrease the BOD of the effluents. This BOD is biochemical oxygen demand, and it is the amount of oxygen that would be consumed if all the organic matter in 1 liter of water is oxidized by bacteria. So this is biochemical oxygen demand, which is consumed when 1 liter of water is oxidized by bacteria, and it measures the amount of organic matter that is present in the water. So greater the BOD, more the water is polluted. Now once the BOD of sewage or wastewater is reduced, the effluent is then passed into settling tank where the bacterial flocs are allowed to sediment, and this sediment is now known as activated sludge. Now this sludge is passed into the large tanks which is known as called anaerobic sludge digester, in which anaerobic bacteria, it digests the bacteria and fungi in the sludge and produce mixture of gas which is known as biogas, and this biogas is a mixture of methane, hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide. Now effluents from the secondary plants are released into the water bodies. These microbes, as we know, they are used in production of biogas. Biogas, as we have already discussed, it is a mixture of gases produced by microbial activity, and it is used as fuel. Now, certain bacteria that can grow anaerobically on cellulosic material produce large amount of methane along with carbon dioxide and water. And these bacteria are collectively called as methanogens. And this is caused by methanobacteria. This is the diagram of typical biogas plant. Here we can see that biogas is formed, which is methane, CO2, and sludge is there and gas is coming out. Now the biogas plant, the excreta of cattle, that is gobar, it is rich in methanogens and bacteria, and it is used for the generation of biogas, which is also known as gobar gas. So this biogas is also known as gobar gas, and methanogens bacteria is responsible for it. Now the technology of biogas production, it was mainly developed in India due to the efforts of IARI and KVIC. Due to these two efforts, the technology was developed. This biogas plant consists of concrete tank in which the bio-waste are collected and slurry of the tank. Now a floating cover is placed over the digester that move upwards when the gas is produced. The gas produced is removed and supplied through an outlet pipe for consumption. The spent slurry is removed through another outlet and it is used as fertilizer. Biogas plant is more often built in rural areas as a large amount of cattle dung is easily available. Now microbes are also used as biocontrol agents. How they can be used as biocontrol agent? Now first we should understand what we mean by biocontrol. Biocontrol means use of biochemical method for controlling plant disease and pest. The chemical used as pesticides and insecticides, they are harmful to human beings and animals. Biological control of pest and disease, it is a method of controlling the pest on natural prediction rather than chemical. So this is based on natural prediction rather than chemical. Now the organic farmer creates a system where the pests are not eradicated but kept at the manageable levels by complex system of check and balance within the living and vibrant ecosystem. For example, the ladybird and dragonflies, they are used to get rid of aphids and mosquitoes respectively. On brassicas and fruit tree to control butterfly caterpillar, bacteria Bacillus thuringiensis is used. Biological control developed for the use of treatment of plant disease is fungus trichoderma. So this trichoderma is used for treatment of plant disease. Trichoderma, as we all know, they are free living fungi and very common in the root systems that control several plant pathogens. Baculoviruses, these are pathogens that attack the insects and other arthropods. The majority of baculovirus, they are used as biological control agents in the genus Nucleohydroviral. These nucleopolyhedroviral, these viruses, they are excellent candidates for the species specific narrow spectrum insecticidal applications. So these nucleopolyhedroviral, these are excellent candidates for narrow spectrum insecticidal applications. Now microbes are also used as biofertilizers. What do you mean by biofertilizers? Biofertilizers are organisms that enrich the nutrient quality of the soil. The main sources include bacteria, fungi and cyanobacteria. So these microbes also enrich the nutrient quality of the soil. The root nodule formed by rhizobium bacteria on the root of leguminous plant increase the nitrogen level of soil necessary for various metabolic process. Azotobacter and Azospirillum, these are free living bacteria. They live in soil and they fix the atmospheric nitrogen into organic forms. Further, symbiotic association of fungi with angiospermic plants, that is mycorrhiza, also increase the fertility of soil. So this symbiotic association of fungi with mycorrhiza, it also increase the fertility of soil. Glomus from mycorrhiza that absorb phosphorus from the soil and passes it to plant. These microbes also provide benefits like resistance to root-borne pathogens, tolerance to salinity and drought. Cyanobacteria, we know cyanobacteria. In cyanobacteria there comes nostoc and anabina, and they are autotrophic microbes which are found in aquatic and terrestrial environment, and they fix the atmospheric nitrogen. In paddy fields, this act as important biofertilizer. So these many microorganisms are acting as biofertilizers. Blue-green algae also add organic matter to the soil and increase the fertility. So blue-green algae is also important, is also acting as biofertilizer to increase the soil fertility. So please press the bell icon and subscribe my channel so that I can bring more videos.